We're about to go live. Oh, this meeting is being live streamed. Okay, cool. I think we're almost live. Yes, we're live. We are live. Welcome,
This
welcome,
meeting is
welcome.
being live streamed. Okay,
All right,
cool.
so give me a second here. I'm going to send out the link to a few people and then I'll introduce you.
Sure.
So let me post it here. Live on YouTube. Okay, so I just did a quick tweet. Hopefully some people will see it and will start joining. But today we're going to do on-chain analysis for Cardano and Bitcoin with my friend Low Fuss Crypto. Low Fuss Crypto, what's going on today? How are you?
Hello, Mustafa. Thank you so much for the introduction and for the invitation to join you on today's live YouTube session. Really looking forward to it today. I'm sure there's a lot of things for us to talk about today. The market was not an easy one. Lots of volatility and mainly downwards. So I'm sure we'll have some great chats as we go through some of the charts.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at what you're looking at then, Low Fuss.
Yeah, sure. So what should we do? Bitcoin, ADA?
I think let's start with Cardano because that's what people, my followers, are interested in, and your followers as well. I think primarily we're Cardano people. Bitcoin is, of course, relevant to everything that we do. So we'll look at Bitcoin, but let's start with Cardano today.
Sure. All right. Let me give me a moment here to share my screen.
Yeah.
And then we'll look at the charts. You know, a little bit of the typical trading view chart, and then we can look at a couple of, what does the on-chain data tell us from into the block. So
just so people know a little background thing. This is a little impromptu live stream that I've decided to do here last minute. So if there are any questions, be sure to put them in the comments. Like and share this video out so other people can find out about it. And we'll try to answer as many questions as you can. I'm actually keeping an eye on my Twitter stream as well. So if you tweet at me or something like that, I'll get your questions there as well.
Great. All right. Well, today's, because, as you can see here, I mean, today was not an easy day. We had a significant red candle here. Am I absolutely surprised? Probably not. I mean, as you can see here, right? So since November, since we had that huge, new all-time high, we really have kind of like came under the Bitcoin band, right? So this is that wonderful Bitcoin support bull. I think it has a wonderful name, Bitcoin band, bull run band or something like that. And you can see that when we heard of the DEX coming on board, we went there, we went up to about 164, and then we came back right down, right? So there's really what we're seeing is very similar here, right? So we just touched there, we got into some resistance, hung out for actually almost like a week almost, right? Like several days before we're coming back down. Now, the one thing, I would have loved to see a little bit more, and maybe that's one of the reasons why we're coming back down, is that the volume, as you can see, right? You can see the volume was just not enough, right? And I think that to me was a little bit of a sign here.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
in your opinion, Low Fuss, what's the fundamental reason for this this dip for the last few days?
You know what? I wish I could tell you. I mean, the only thing I could tell you is I think there's probably a little bit of a macro, right? I mean, we still have some uncertainty in the macro level with Ukraine, the war. But in the same time, one of the things I'm keep looking at, right? I also do like to look at, I mean, you see that in the equity markets as well, right? Everything is clearly down. If you look at VIX is 15% up, right? So that's not surprising. And then what really is up, and this is impacting, I think, also the crypto market for sure, is the Dixie, right? The value of the US dollar. I mean, that right now is, I mean, as you can see, that has been on an upward trend here, right? Since May of 21.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what's happening here, right? And this is the one that I'm really looking at. And as I look at that, I think once that trend reverses, I think that's when the bull run's really going to resume. Because when you look at it, right, I mean, gold, silver, they're not really, right? So there's nothing really else that's appreciating, right? Oil is not that up. So the only thing that's going up right now, the way I see it, is Dixie and the 10-year yield.
Right.
Right. And you see that. I mean, look at this. Look at this since March 7th. Right. So we went from like the $1.73. Where are we at? 2.78.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are the ones I'm looking at. So I think when the Dixie comes back down, when the 10-year yield comes back down, I think that's when it's going to be, right? That's when we're going to have, that's when we're going to see the bull run resume in crypto for sure.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I was actually watching Bloomberg today, and they were discussing the inverted yield curve and how basically like short-term yields are actually bigger than long-term yields. That in addition with they have I don't know how many $trillion or how many billions in the balance sheet, but they're planning on reducing their balance sheet significantly on top of that. So it's like people are anticipating the market to be flooded with cash. I'm sorry, the other way around. People are anticipating people to dump, to be dumping, the Fed to be dumping their assets. So,
right.
I don't know. How do you feel about the macro aspect from the Federal Reserve perspective and the increase in the basis points? Is this going to cause the DXY to reach an all-time high, or what's the case for the DXY continuing to go up, and what's the case for the DXY reversing?
That's not up to me. I think we're gonna have to ask some people over at Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan to get an answer.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say this is, I mean, look at this. There's, when you look at the charts, there's a certain momentum, right? We go, we're in green, and we go back into the red, right? So it oscillates, right? And you can see that it was about to reverse, but for some reason, it just decided, hey, let's go even higher, right? So
yeah,
I'm not going to say that I'm that much of an expert. I just look at, what has happened in the past, what are the dependencies, and then we'll have to see. I mean, I follow a couple of people like Greg Manarino. They have their point of view, which, if anyone has never heard of Greg Manarino, he has a YouTube channel. Many times he's quite spot on.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think there's going to be, I don't think there's going to be some significant cutback on QE.
Yeah.
I think if that happened, I think the economies would go, we would be in much more trouble than where we are.
Yeah. Well, long term, I'm bullish, that's for sure. But I'm just curious to see the fundamentals of Cardano. Can we take a look and see how things are on the inside of Cardano, as opposed to just the emotions of people buying and selling? Because to me, I'm more concerned about what's happening on the inside of Cardano in the blockchain and the fundamentals. That's what really drives long-term growth.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Short-term, people get scared, and then people FOMO back in, like, that's to be expected.
Yeah. I mean, listen, just before we go into maybe a little bit of on-chain here, I mean, look at the RSI, right? You could clearly see that, we were overbought, we're coming back down. So not financial advice, but, I think this probably, this is a good time to start, perhaps, if anyone had some dry powder on the side, to start making some purchases. And you can see that as well here, right? The momentum is about to come over. And here, we don't see that much distribution here, right? And as I look at the weekly, same thing.
I mean, technically, right? I'm not a technical analyst, but I do look at charts all day. And we're technically still a bull market structure, meaning that we are actually making higher lows. And so as long as we continue to make higher lows, it's basically just a correction, a dip within a bull market. So that's one of the reasons why I'm so calm at this moment. And I'm actually, I mean, I really don't like to talk about when I'm buying and stuff like that, but I am buying right now. So if
Yep.
if that gives anyone any reassurance, I don't know, not financial advice, but yes, I am buying.
Yeah, I mean, look at that, right? If we can
Yeah.
maintain this, right, or maybe calm down a little bit more, but we can, as long as I think we're going to be still above this 77, perhaps, I think it, which would be another bottom here, right, in the same range. I think that would be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that. Listen, Cardano is definitely the top coin. Definitely it has to be one of the top smart contracts, despite what anyone says, just fundamentally,
Mm-hmm.
right? So not a problem here. Let's look at, this is what I like to look at.
Okay.
Let's
So
talk a little bit about this.
what are we looking at there, Balash?
Yeah, so this is Cardano, into the block,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I like to look at here is large transactions. And I was just looking at this a little bit earlier today. Look at the number of large transactions just recently.
So what's the definition of a large transaction according to Into the Block?
Greater number of on-chain transactions greater than 100,000.
Wow. Wow.
Right? So you can see that, right? So we're not, since March 28, we've been, we came down a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but we're still doing quite well here. Now, of course, this is the last data point is on April 4th. So let's see if we can get a little bit more. Yeah, April 10, it's not a significant decrease. It's not a drastic decrease here. So
no, but over the 1 year, can we take a look at the 1 year again? The 1 year of the large transactions. I just want to see, because I read a statistic actually that showed that I don't know how many X greater in large transactions there was occurring on Cardano over the last year, but I can't really hold on. Let me expand my screen here a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll make mine bigger.
Oh, you're looking at the 6 month. Yeah, let's look at the 1 year for number of large transactions if we could. It's pretty steady. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Cardano is being used for what it is being built for. It's a peer-to-peer transaction system and a smart contract system, and it's doing exactly what it was originally set out to do. So I'm super happy about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And here as well, we had a big peak here. When was this? Like March 19, right when the price was, around 89 cents, right? And then it slowly came down as the price went up. But I think, we're going to start seeing some more large transactions, which really just means buying. So, and we can touch a little bit about that base, right? I'll talk a little bit about correlation there with number of whales that are accumulating. So I think this to me, so this kind of like makes me feel like, all right, this feels right. Nothing really, nothing to worry about, at least not from my perspective.
Yeah, everything seems good and stable on the Cardano blockchain.
Right.
Which is what I was concerned about. I said, hey, if there's a dip that's if there's a dip and something correlated with it on chain, then that concerns me. But this dip is purely an emotional sort of reaction from the market. It has nothing to do with how well the Cardano blockchain is working, which is what right. That's what it seems to me based on this data.
Right. And then when you look at this, right, we still hold on to our number of whales. So we have 4. What I liked about this, and I wish this had a little bit better tracking, but we just added, I remember like there's a time maybe like a couple of weeks ago where 2 weeks in a row, we just added 2 whales once in a number.
That was right before we went, I think we were at the 80 cents or 84 cents, and we added a couple of whales, and then we took off after that. Yeah, we went all the way to $1.25 from there.
Right. And I think we just added another investor, right? Because I think this number was about 25 last week or so.
Yeah, it must be has something to do with Coinbase, in my opinion, because after that, I don't know how many $1 billion of staking that came in like a single day.
Mhm.
Like after that, then Coinbase announced their 3.75 APY staking on their platform, and then just sort of, I made the connection in my mind of, okay, well, maybe it has something to do with Coinbase.
Yeah, could be, could be.
Yeah.
So, right, so this seems to be strong. I love this chart. The fact that, slightly the number of whales has recently increased, right? Investors are now more or less stabilizing, but, most of this is in the hands of retail. So I like the fact that this is truly decentralized, right? And if you see that even in the last 30 days, right, whales increased by 33, right? So that's when we went from 3 to 4, right? So there's your
Yeah,
number
that's
of
pretty
whales,
big.
right?
Yeah, it's a big
Right.
move.
So there's, right. And then, investors got out, right? These tend to be like the day traders, and retail's buying it up along with the
Yeah,
whales.
it's
So
also tax season, so there's good possibility that
absolutely.
there's a lot of tax selling going on. Actually, I think Anderson, is it Horowitz and both as well as Raoul Paul both said the same thing, like a few more days of tax selling and that's it. So
Yep.
I'm pretty optimistic about
Yeah. So
things coming
hodlers
in
are,
the next couple days.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So hodlers are holding, cruisers are just chilling, and traders, we're saying auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah.
Right. So nothing to, right. And then when you look at that by balance by the time held, same thing. And let's see, anything else here that I like to look at? Not really.
What's going on the block on the Bitcoin side?
So let's look at the Bitcoin side quickly. Let's look at social sentiment, right?
Yeah.
This is the one I love because we're so healthy. Like Cardano community guys, it's just, we just can't, we don't care. We're so unfazed by these things. It's almost unnatural. To some degree, it's almost like, it almost makes me feel like people are just excited for a dip because then they can just buy more, right? So Telegram sentiment, as you can see, I don't really see any, we don't see anything. The numbers are not that big, right? So we're mainly in the positive with some neutral, and this is on Telegram. Only 390 messages that were negative. And in terms of Twitter sentiment, yeah, look at that. We're up there, right?
Interesting.
Let's see. There you go. It's looking.
Yeah. I mean, we basically run Twitter, the Cardano people, right? we own that. We own that. Like we're basically the king of Twitter right now.
Yeah, and then this is, let's see what are the big words here? Product, cap, clay, staking, futures, present. That's interesting, futures. I wonder if this is talking about the CME futures, right? You read about that there's talk of offering CME mini futures, I believe.
Yeah. So for those who don't, the futures of basically the Chicago Mercantile Exchange is considering Cardano futures. So there already exists Bitcoin futures, but nothing else at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think even Ethereum does it. Are there Ethereum futures, Lofus? I don't think so.
I think that's being discussed. I think that's.
But I think Cardano is actually on the front of their minds right now. So Cardano futures would change the game a bit.
Yeah. You know what? I had a lot. I was in Ethereum until last Q2.
Yeah.
I cut the top, and ever since then, it's been for me nothing but Cardano.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Let's look at what Bitcoin did.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let's see. Where's Bitcoin? I mean, yeah, it still is, right? It's putting in
a higher
low.
A higher low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Higher low.
Technically,
higher high.
I'm 100% confident technically that we're still in a bull market, but we're just in a corrective wave at the moment. So
yeah, and then look at this, right? So the MACDs on the weekly are flipping just as they are in Cardano, right? We're seeing a little bit of green here. Now, interestingly enough, on the weekly, we're getting this sell signal, right? And that's because of this big sell-off right here, and even the market cipher is telling us that's a huge, that's a huge. I want to say that's a bearish continuation. But listen, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. It's a good time to buy.
What I am concerned about, though, are whales selling.
Let's take a look. So for BTC, for Bitcoin, I do like to use crypto Quant and really look at the exchange net flow on all the exchanges, right? And seeing like what happens. And this you can see here, right? So just recently, and I look at for each block, right? That's every 6 minutes or so. I think it's about 6 or 7 minutes. This gets updated. But you can see this. Some come on, it goes off. Comes on, boom, goes off. Here it came off. It took a little bit longer, right, for someone to buy it up and take it off exchange. Same thing here, right? So here we may still see a little bit of price volatility through the system, unless all the retail bought it up and they just kept it on the the exchanges, right? And they're not taking it off. But I mean, listen, when you look at it on the 1 hour, right, since October, this is what we're talking about here, right? This is a little zone here we're talking about. So I'm not going to say that's a significant amount of, nothing to worry about here, because when you look at it on the really macro level, I mean, look at that. You don't even see it. So if we zoom in, since what happened in the summer, that's really what it is on the daily. See?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing like this. Or
so the exchange reserve is decreasing.
Yeah, and right now it's just flat, right?
Right.
It was about to come down until like April 2nd, and could this be a little bit of that tax season sell-off? Possibly.
Yeah.
Right.
But
yeah, let's look at here. Yeah, let's look at here on the hourly. Yeah, see. I mean, look at this huge. I mean, could this be the Do Kwon, right? So there's, could some of these transactions, like this transaction, be to what the Luna team did, where they
Possibly.
bought a significant amount?
I think it's probable, very probable.
Right, and then I also like to look at the Bitcoin miners. What are they doing? And they had a little bit of sell-off here on April 6th, but overall, I mean, they're still higher.
Yeah.
Right. And then I look at this one, the fund holdings, just to see where we are. So let's take a look at it and do a little zoom in since February. Okay. So they went up, right? End of March. They're at 729,000, 729.3 thousand. BitTC is now there at 726. Okay. So see, they sold off.
Right.
Right, they sold off 3 million. 3,000. What is that? 3,000? Yeah, they sold off 3,000 Bitcoins.
So miners are selling probably to pay taxes. Or
yeah,
whatever.
These are the funds. Right, the funds sold off a little bit. Sounds like the reserves are not as much, the holdings are not as high, and then maybe the miners. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I think that gives us a pretty good picture overall.
Yeah, and if you want, we can do very similar. I mean, listen, hash rate is still up. I like where the hash rate is. This is another one, right? This is another one. This is the Bitcoin fund market premium, right? So this could be like the GBTC and some of the, right? So some of the grayscale GBTC. As you can see, it's kind of like stabilizing. And just recently, the discount is shrinking.
Okay.
Right?
So that's an indicator that demand is increasing, correct?
Yes. So could there be a little bit more of an interest in some of these GBTCs and the like, right? So some of these, is the fund market premium going to go back to zero and actually maybe go back into this nice little green zone?
Yeah, I think that would be
go back to premium.
It's showing signs of reversing, so it just it shows that demand is coming back, which makes sense for the we're at the beginning of Q2 or coming into Q2.
And then I also look at this and I'm going, could it just be this what we're going through? Could just this be this, which is the funding rates, right? I mean, look
That
at for
looks
how long we were.
like a reverse Head and Shoulders there.
Yeah, but look at like in the summer. Look at for how long we were in this kind of like right in the red zone from a funding rate perspective, and right now we're just in, then we're out, we're in, right? So it just could be, that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, stable coins, right?
Yeah.
I like the stable coins. Lots of stable coins coming on lately, right? More stable coins coming on, so that's a good sign. That means people are shopping. So overall, all right. So let's quickly take a look at what is Into the Blocks telling us. Is there anything interesting? Let's see here. All right. Yeah, everyone's bearish. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that we know. But the question is, should they be bearish?
Yeah, there you go. All right, there's one whale. And it's not Michael Saylor MicroStrategy, right? Because this one whale has 253,000 BTCs. And I think Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, they're what, 127,000?
Yeah, isn't it Grayscale though? Grayscale, I think, is the largest holder.
Is it?
I believe it is. I just don't remember the exact amount. I had a little bit of a argument on Twitter about that. Somebody didn't believe me, but I found the data. It's on my Twitter somewhere. But yes, they have like more than, I think, probably about double what MicroStrategy has. More than that, probably.
Then listen, it could be.
1.6x. Yeah.
Really? All right. Well, it could be
more than MicroStrategy.
Yeah, and then look, when you look at this, right? When you look at the 30-day change on concentration, investors are increasing. Retail is going up.
Yeah.
And look at this distribution, right? I mean, you can barely see the whale. You know, the investors are not a significant portion, and everything else is in retail.
Yeah.
And this is where I probably tend to disagree with, certain crypto YouTubers who keep saying like, you got to follow the smart money. And then, this is where Solana and Avalanche and, Luna and all these things that are like, this is where the smart money, the VCs are going. But then when you look at that distribution, it's nowhere near. So it's like, all right, so when you're telling me like BTC is great, this is fantastic, keep buying it, but then follow the smart money, which is the complete opposite. And it's
if you want to follow the smart money, then you need to be in Cardano, because the smart money is Grayscale, and Grayscale's largest DeFi fund portion is Cardano. So if you want to follow the smart money, you go to Cardano.
Yeah, exactly. Like X, I think they call it like the X Ethereum smart contract, right? Fund or something like that.
Yeah, the X Ethereum DeFi fund. Cardano's the largest holding on that. So,
and so you know what? I'm not going to be surprised.
I don't know what those other people are talking about.
Well, everyone has an opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be surprised. I would not be surprised if Grayscale is going to introduce their own, like it's Cardano is its own fund. I mean, there's already one for Stellar.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
and there's some of them for some other coins, right, that are not in the, they're not in as high ranking. They don't have the same market cap. So I just wonder if it's just a matter of timing, and maybe they're waiting for the June hard fork, right, when all these other DeFi players will come in, as Charles has stated, and after that it's just going to be one big bang, right? You got Jed coming on board. Who knows? I would be surprised.
Happen. I mean, look, Charles Hoskinson is not a dumb person.
No. Absolutely not.
Okay. Nothing is by accident.
Right. No, exactly. There's a little bit of thinking and thought that goes into this. It just doesn't happen by luck, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love.
There's nothing about that's haphazard. I mean, it's like,
no.
You ever seen coordinated, anything coordinated, choreographed? I mean, it's like that.
Yeah. Whenever I think of Cardano, for me, it's like hashtag execution matters, right? that should be the motto for Cardano, right? Yeah. Hashtag execution matters.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't coordinate an effort that big as smoothly as they have done, and so it's an incredible effort.
Yeah.
So
looking at this, Yeah, so yeah, I'm just looking at this, and even looking at all these data points, I really am not overly concerned. I think
Yeah.
for now, this is just this to me is just perhaps just another dip, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
sell
Agreed.
off because of tax season.
Yeah.
Some
I
people
think a
will
few
say,
more
well, it's
days,
on
few more days, and we should be out of this rut.
exactly. Some people will
And
say, well, it's because the Dixie's appreciating because of macro uncertainty or
yeah,
political uncertainty, whatever, the VIX and everything else. Who knows? But all equities, a lot of equities are down as well, right? Definitely more on
cool.
the growth stocks versus value stocks, right?
So we actually had a good amount of people come on this live stream today, thanks to Dan, crypto recruiter from CCV,
Wow.
retweeting
Thank you,
our.
Dan.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. We had a good amount of people come on. So, guys, if you're not already following my friend Low Fuss Crypto, be sure to follow him on Twitter at Low Fuss Crypto. He's got on-chain data. He's posting there every day. I'm Mustafa the Cardano guy. I'm also posting every day on Twitter as well. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to check out, I've got a new website up, thecardanoguy.com. I'm giving away 3 free Cardano Mastery reports. Be sure to get your free reports. Just go to the homepage and click on the link to get your free reports. But that's about it, guys. If you guys want anything specifically done, any kind of particular analysis you want done, just tweet at me, and I will do it for you. So I'm here to serve the community. I am here to serve Cardano. So whatever you guys want, make sure to let me know in the comments or tweet at me on Twitter. But we're gonna wrap it up here. So Lofa, is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap up?
No, not really. But let's do this more often. And then people, please comment on this
Yeah,
and let
we
us
actually
know
had
if this is useful and what kind of questions you want, and then we'll adjust it next time.
Yeah, we're planning on doing these types of events at least once a week. So once we get some people, commenting at us, letting us know specifically what questions they have, we'll be able to have something a little bit more tailored for you. So my goal is to continue to keep this process going and serve the community. I'm here to serve you guys. So whatever you guys want,
and thank you, Dan.
let us know. Cool.
Okay.
All right, Low Fuss. Thanks. I'll catch you later. All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
Have a good one.